With all this alcohol around, I'm glad that, unlike Ross, I've only got to rise once today. Ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Barry, and I'm one of Ross's best men today. Can I say what a wonderful day it's been? A lot of people have been involved in making today run so smoothly, so a big thank you to everyone. And in particular, a big thank you goes to the stunning bridesmaids. I can just imagine the panic and mayhem this morning trying to get ready. And on behalf of Ross, I'd like to say thanks for getting Michelle to the church on time. Almost. Another thanks goes to the ushers, Neil and Gary. What can I say, apart from Ross must be really scraping the bottom of the barrel to get a pair of buckets like Seriously guys, thanks for your help. I look forward to catching up in the bar later. As is quite common these days, Ross has two best men, the other being Martin. So think of these speeches as like the meal we're about to tuck into. Jim has opened us up with a short and tasty appetiser to get us in the mood. Ross has provided the meat of the speeches with the main course. I am, of course, the highlight with dessert and some tasty stories of Ross's misspent childhood. And Martin's in his favourite position, up the rear with some cheese. Ross and I lived next door to each other for over 21 years, so it's fair to say I know most of what he got up to in his childhood. Mainly because I was there either egging him on or clearing up the aftermath of his antics. Unfortunately, Ross wasn't terribly blessed when he was born. I'm not saying he was an ugly baby, but it's not a well-known fact that when he was born, the doctor took one look at him and slapped Jane. Apparently, when you're born, there's only one part of the body which doesn't grow as you age, and this is the eyeball. If you compare Ross's baby photos with the photos of him in a gimp mask in Belfast, I think you'll see there's in fact two organs in Ross's body. Yes, she's mostly drinking the cold, but I'm not convinced. When we were very young, Ross adopted the name of Sparky. This was not due to his interest in electronic engineering, but his fascination with fire and setting things alight. I remember Ross being grounded on a number of occasions for setting fire to the grounds of the Country Inn pub or setting fire to the Rockies just along from our houses. One favourite fascination of Ross's was the sound of burning plastic as it dripped. The most common sound to follow Ross's pyrotechnic practices was always him crying like a baby trying to shake clumps of burning plastic off his skin. After the first time leaving burning scabs on his hands, you think he's learned, but oh no, not Ross. Luckily, this phase of Ross's life passed without any serious injury or disfigurement, but it could be argued at some point he burnt all his hair off and it's just never Ross was a fairly quiet guy when we were growing up, at least that was until he discovered alcohol. I don't want to go into too much detail in front of Ross's closest family and friends, but I feel it's my responsibility to inform you of some of his more memorable shenanigans. These include a trip to the dentist after smashing his tooth trying to snuggle up a telephone box.
Punched it.
Fined £25 for drinking in the street, probably the most expensive bottle of beer he's bought, but that's until he goes to Dubai on his honeymoon. Sledging down the Rockies, straight into a lamppost, and then me have to tow him half a mile home on the sledge because he couldn't walk. Coming back from holiday with liver poisoning, getting signed off work and spending a week in bed. Give my brother third-degree burns on his leg, using a lighter than an aerosol can. And my personal favourite is Ross being stopped at customs the way back from Faliraki with a suitcase full of porn. He claims it was for personal use, but this didn't stop it getting confiscated.
There's no dots.
What can I say about Michelle? Arrogant, pig-headed and immature. Well, there's at least 3 words she used to describe Ross after they first met. In fact, their first meeting was so successful that after the event one night, Michelle left Scotland to work in London and attempted to go into the trouble. Even on her return she couldn't bear a night out in Kirkcaldy in case she bumped into Ross, so she moved as far away as possible from the east coast, taking up residence in Stornoway. Apparently the crying of gulls and the barking of seals is more a turn on than Ross's chat-up line. Despite what I say, I reckon for them to be sitting here today as husband and wife, it must have been love pure and simple after they first met. Michelle, with her down-to-earth personality, good looks, good sense of humour, she just wanted to live with Ross, you could describe as pure. Ross, on the other hand, he's always been a bit simple. All joking aside, I think you'll agree that Michelle was the most stunning bride and Ross is a very lucky man to be marrying her. Just remember your vows, Michelle. You agreed to stick by him for better or for worse. This includes double point weekend on Call of Duty, Ross wasting half his wages on a fruit machine and beer, and spending another half keeping his beloved Lotus on the road. Ross, I've only been married for a year and a half, but I think I can offer some useful words of wisdom. Number one, marriage is when a man and woman become as one. The trouble starts when you try to decide which one. As a man, you should forget all the mistakes you make during marriage life. There's no point in both of you remembering the same things. Number three, the secret of a happy marriage has always remained a secret. Any best man speech wouldn't be complete without reference to the stag. I have to admit, Ross's stag was one of the most sedate stag weekends I've been on. It was full of stimulating intellectual debates over a few ales and really went against the grain of what a stag weekend should be like. Sorry mate, they're never going to believe that. I did try. Unfortunately, due to the rules of the stag, I cannot reveal any of the interesting stories. But if you buy me a few beers at the bar afterwards and get me drunk enough, I might tell you the one about the rubber gloves and the watermelon. Anyway, that's enough from me, but before I pass you over to Martin, I've been asked to read out this couple of lines from someone who can't be here today, and it says, to Ross and Michelle, congratulations Mr. and Mrs. Gilmore from the extended family. Ross, it's been a privilege and fun to see you come into the world and watch you develop into a very fine young man. From changing your smelly nappies to powdering your bottom, to now being able to enjoy a pint and good banter with you. You're a very lucky man to have pulled a real cracker. You and Michelle are so obviously good for each other. Treasure it always. Michelle, on behalf of the extended family, welcome to the clan. You are a most welcome addition. You take the family totty rating up a notch. As your old uncle, I should now probably offer some wise words of wisdom and advice for future happiness. But I don't think you could reasonably expect to take advice from a man who, when reading this, will be pulling up stockings, putting on his makeup and adjusting his wig. Long life and every happiness to you both. God bless, Uncle Al. Right, I'll now pass you over to Martin to finish up.